Well, after with what had seen days of adjournment, we finally saw farm debate on the floor of the Rajya Sabha. But standing there today was the Agriculture Minister, Narendra Singh Tomar, who tore into the opposition, namely the Congress, for what he said was khoon ki kheti, which the opposition, namely Congress, was indulging in. Tomar said that rumours are being spread in the country that corporates will snatch farmers' land and called them these allegations baseless, adding that provisions have been made to protect the interest of farmers. Tomar also once again emphasized that the government is open to talks and is committed to allaying their fears.
Let him speak.
खड़गे जी दुनिया जानती है।
You can speak
खड़गे जी दुनिया जानती है। पानी से खेती होती है, खून से खेती सिर्फ कांग्रेस ही कर सकती है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी खून से खेती नहीं कर सकती।
वो अनफॉर्चुनेट बात है कि तोमर साहब को पिछले 4 महीने से अभी तक ये समझ ही नहीं आई कि किसानों के हिंदुस्तान में सेंटिमेंट्स क्या तोमर साहब किसानों को अनपढ़ समझते हैं? और आप दिल्ली को एक बर्लिन वॉल का शेप दे रहे हो, जैसे वॉर ऑफ प्रिजनर्स ऑफ वॉर रखे होते हैं, ऐसे आप हालात क्रिएट कर रहे हो। इतनी बड़े कंडेदार तारें लगा रहे हो, कंक्रीट वहाँ डाल रहे हो, दीवारें बना रहे हो कंक्रीट की, ये अपने लोग हैं।
All that was happening in Parliament today, but what is happening on ground where the farmers' protest is concerned? It's day 72, viewers, and the farmers are now prepping for the big Chakka Jam tomorrow, 6th February.
From the verge of dissipating after the January 26th violence, the farmers' agitation has gained huge strength once again, even bigger perhaps than before. After firming up numbers at the Delhi borders, farmers are set for another mega demonstration, a nationwide Chakka Jam, the large-scale blocking of roads and highways. Farmers plan to block state and national highways for 3 hours from noon till 3 p.m. on Saturday.
दरअसल ये पूरे देश की कॉल है कि सब जगह पर जो नेशनल हाईवे है, स्टेट हाईवे है, जो जिलों में विशेषकर, तो वहाँ के किसान वहीं पर करेंगे। यहाँ तो ऑलरेडी दिल्ली की सीमाओं पर किसान पहले से बैठे हैं, तो इसलिए यहाँ पर कोई चक्का जाम वाली स्थिति नहीं है। यहाँ तो जैसी स्थिति है वैसी ही रहेगी।
Farmer leaders say there won't be a Chakka Jam in UP and Uttarakhand though.
चक्का जाम नहीं होगा 2 स्टेट में, उत्तर प्रदेश और उत्तराखंड।
इसकी वजह क्या है?
वजह यह है कि उनको कभी भी दिल्ली बुलाया जा सकता है, ये उनकी वजह है। वे अपना स्टैंड बाई में रहे।
Even though farmers have promised not to enter Delhi, the police is taking no chances given the criminally broken promises of Republic Day.
20 तारीख को जिस तरह से पुलिस के साथ एक जो समझौता हुआ था, जो बातचीत हुई थी, उसको वायोलेट करके, उल्लंघन करके जिस तरह का हिंसा और उपद्रव दिल्ली के अंदर देखने को मिला, तो उसके मद्देनजर दिल्ली पुलिस इस बार कोई चांस नहीं ले रही है और हम बॉर्डर के ऊपर हमारी फोर्स तैनात हैं और हमने वहां पे सुरक्षा का कड़े इंतजाम किए हैं कि कोई भी उपद्रवी दिल्ली के अंदर आकर के उपद्रव नहीं फैला सकता।
Security has been beefed up at Singhu, Gazipur and Tikri border points to ensure there's no repeat of the chaos that prevailed on January 26th.
The farmers have decided to call for a Chakka Jam to intensify their stir on 6th of February. But the police is also on guard.
पुलिस के जो ताज़ा इंतजाम है वो किस तरह से है? इतना ही नहीं, सिर्फ पुलिस का संख्या बल ही नहीं है, अलग-अलग बैरिकेडिंग ही नहीं है, बल्कि तमाम टायर किलर्स, स्पाइक, ट्रेंचेस और तमाम ऐसी चीजें हैं जिसके जरिए जो पूरा इलाका है वो आइसोलेट कर दिया गया है।
We are at Gazipur border right now, where the farmers' protest is going on for almost 75 days. The farmers are camping here in the tents, but police is also making elaborate arrangements for the safety and security.
The Haryana police is on high alert as well. Senior police officials of the state have been asked to ramp up security deployments. Local intelligence units have been put on high alert. traffic police has also been directed to increase presence of personnel on key routes. Since the Chakka Jam call follows close on the heels of the Republic Day rampage by protesting farmers, security arrangements have been bolstered. It remains to be seen if farmers will stick to their peaceful stir promise or violate it once again. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, let's quickly shift focus to the state of West Bengal. Mamata Banerjee, the Chief Minister, was presenting the budget for the state of West Bengal. What ensued was abject pandemonium in the State Assembly. The opposition, BJP, staged a walkout while Mamata was presenting the budget. Her speech was disrupted with chants of Jai Shri Ram while the Congress boycotted the budget session. An irked Chief Minister lashed out at the BJP, claiming that no one disrupts Modi when he speaks in the Assembly. Biman Banerjee, Speaker of the Assembly, alleged that Bengal has never witnessed such disruptions during the budget session and that the BJP doesn't want to have discussions or debate.
আমি অনেক বাজেট পাস করেছি, আমি প্রেস করেছি হাউসে, জাস্ট বাজেট পড়বার আগে আমি শুরু করেছিলাম পড়তে, আবার আমার প্রথম থেকেই পড়তে হচ্ছে। আমি নিজে 5টা রেলওয়ে বাজেট প্লেস করেছিলাম, আমি অনেক জেনারেল বাজেট পার্লামেন্টে প্লেস করেছি, দেখেছি বাজেটের সময় কেউ কোনোদিনও কোনো কথা বলে না, বিকজ ইট ইজ দ্য কাস্টমারি অফ দ্য পার্লামেন্টারি সিস্টেম অ্যান্ড দ্য ডেমোক্রেটিক সিস্টেম। কিন্তু আমি জানি না বিজেপির এই মেম্বাররা কিছু পারে না, কিছু জানে না। বাজেটটা পর্যন্ত আমরা তো বলছি আপনারা আসুন, শুনুন, তর্ক করুন, বিতর্ক করুন, আলোচনায় অংশগ্রহণ করুন। তা না করে 4-5 মিলেই যদি এই অবস্থা হয় তাহলে বুঝতে পারছে কি অবস্থা।
All right, I want to cut across right now to my colleague Indrajit Kundu, who's joining us live with the very latest updates. Indrajit, it does seem that Jai Shri Ram has become now the political war cry of the BJP. Every time they want to take on the TMC and Mamata Banerjee, this is the chant that we hear today on the floor of the parliament.
Well, absolutely. You know, today in the assembly, while Mamata Banerjee stood up to place the vote on account because State Finance Minister Dr. Amit Mitra is unwell, so he could not present the budget himself. And we saw that just a few days back when a special session of the West Bengal Assembly was called to pass a unanimous resolution against the 3 farm laws passed by the central government. There too we saw the BJP raising Jai Shri Ram slogans. At that time too they had staged a walkout. So this has become the norm as far as the BJP is concerned. Every time they see Mamata Banerjee, they're raising the slogan and they're trying to hit out at Mamata Banerjee. So clearly, this is no more a religious slogan. This is most definitely a political weapon as far as the BJP is concerned. And this is exactly what the Trinamool Congress has been alleging all through, that, you know, religious slogans, religious political slogans were being raised at various platforms where they are not supposed to be raised, highlighting the point that during the January 23rd celebrations at Victoria Memorial to commemorate the birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose at a government program, similar chants were raised by BJP supporters.
All right, Indru, appreciate you joining us. We're going to continue to come back to you for more updates on that story. Meanwhile, there's not just the state of West Bengal that is going into an election and is seeing hectic political activity. State of Tamil Nadu as well, viewers. And let's cut across to Sasikala, who's out of jail right now, and the AIDMK has a bone to pick with her, primarily of her using the AIDMK party flag. First, the EPS government shut down Jayalalitha's Memorial Day ahead of Sasikala's return to Chennai. And now a group of senior AIDMK leaders have met Tamil Nadu DGP to register a complaint against Sasikala for her use of AIDMK flag following her discharge from Bengaluru Hospital. The state ministers D. Jayakumar, CV Shamaguman and P. Thangamani were amongst the leaders who met the DGP. This comes after AIDMK asserted that Sasikala could not use the party flag anymore.
Are you saying that Sasikala should not use a flag here?
Yes.
You don't want Sasikala to use a flag
Yes.
Sir,
That is the ultimate.
But for that you are supposed to go to the court, no sir. Why DGP office?
Yes.
You have to go to the court for that, right?
No. Actually, what the court given the direction is clearly spelled out by our law minister. So based on the court order only, we have given the petition to the DGP. Okay.
All right, viewers, let's get to our other big developing story right now. We are still in the middle of a pandemic. While certain countries are still struggling with a third and a second wave, India right now is doing way better. So one would suggest there is a very quiet COVID caution even though we are looking at least the silver lining, where India is doing much better than any other country. Take a look at this report.
India has settled into a comfortable wicket in the battle against COVID-19. With the number of daily infections and deaths steadily coming down, the situation in India is looking up. With more than 10.4 million recoveries as 15,853 patients cured in the latest numbers, the national recovery rate is now a very healthy 97.16%. In comparison to the USA, UK, Brazil and Russia, India's cases per million population is amongst the lowest in the world. But is India out of the woods yet? Let's be clear, the war on the virus is far from over. The government's message is, don't let your guard down.
Going ahead, people need to maintain COVID-appropriate behavior. There is no cause for us to lower our guard. And you did refer to a third wave. When did we encounter the second wave? I thought we had one wave and a decline.
Experts say one must not throw caution to the wind. India Today spoke to the top medical experts on what lies ahead for India's COVID-19 situation. And here is what they said. India reporting lowest cases, but third wave ahead.
Just the fact that number of cases have come down, we should not be too elated about it. That will be too early, and therefore there is a guarded optimism, and guarded because we must continue COVID appropriate behavior even now. And simple things like wearing mask cuts down the risk of transmission enormously. Something like 90% risk is cut down by simple wearing a mask.
Can India afford to take its guard down even a little?
We will again reiterate that the three precautions which we were taking, number one is wearing the mask adequately whenever we are going out of the homes. Number two is, doing our hand sanitization with sanitizers. And three is physical distancing of 6 feet. This has to be continued. Along with that, we know that the vaccination process has started in this country. So that has to be continued as well.
How long before India reaches herd immunity?
India has certainly been very fortunate to have a drastic reduction in the number of cases since late October. Though there are many reasons that are attributed, none of the reasons have been scientifically proven. The reasons given are herd immunity because of increased number of asymptomatic infections which were not detected.
I don't think so it's close to herd immunity because, generally if we need a herd immunity, we need 70 to 80% of the population to get the infection or antibodies. Currently, we don't have that data that, 70 to 80% of infection rates have happened in the country. So I will not say that India is close to herd immunity.
How long before India reaches herd immunity?
Depending upon the R number, the herd immunity could be anywhere between say 60%, 80%, even 90% if the virus is very transmissible. And therefore, we cannot say at this stage whether we are moving closer to herd immunity. There are only two ways that can help us protect us getting towards that. One is of course vaccine. So everyone must, when their turn comes, get vaccinated. And number two, continue to maintain COVID appropriate behavior.
The message is clear. The situation is stable and improving. India is in a solid position, better than most parts of the world. But nothing will justify letting our guard down now. The war against the virus remains on. With Milan Sharma, Nolan Pinto and Saurabh Vaktania, Bureau Report for India Today.
All right, let's get you the latest of our campaign on Let India Breathe, supported by Hero Electric. This story about triumph of the human spirit.
All great things start with one noble intention. Padma Shri Salumarda Thimakka is a legend whose story also started on a humble note. Also known as Mother of Trees, Salumarda started out by helping her husband plant saplings and water the trees along a 4-kilometer stretch near their home in Ramnagar district in Karnataka.
ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ಗೆ ಅವ್ರೇನು ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ರು, ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಎದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಆರೆಕೋಲು ತಗೊಂಡೋದ್ರು. ಆರೆಕೋಲು ತಗೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಹಳೆ ಮಂಡ್ ರೋಡ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಹಳೆ ಮಂಡ್ ರೋಡ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಹತ್ತು ಕಡೆ ಮಗಳಿಗೆ 10 ಗುಣಿ ಹೊಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದರು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. ಒಂದು ಜೊತೆ ಅಡ್ಡೆ ಉಯ್ಯರು, ನಾನು ತಲೆ ಮ್ಯಾಗ ಒಂದು, ಸೊಂಟದ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು. ನಾನು ನೀರು ಹೊತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ನೀರು ಉಯ್ದುಬಿಟ್ಟು 3 ದಿವಸಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಸತಿ ನೀರು ಇವು.
All of Salu Marda's efforts are geared towards making this world a better place.
ಖುಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಮರ ಬೆಳೆಸೋದು ಭಾಳ ಸಂತೋಷವಾದ್ದು, ಭಾಳ ಪುಣ್ಯವಾದ ಕೆಲಸ ಅದು.
The world famous environmentalist has this small message for all citizens.
ನಮ್ಮ ಪತಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೆಳೆಸಿದ್ದೀವಲ್ಲ ಹಂಗೆ ರೀತಿ ನೀವು ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ. ಸಸಿ ಬೆಳೆಸಿ, ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ, ಭಾಗ್ಯ ಬರಲಿ.
All right, with that, I'm going to go into a quick break, but do stay tuned. Up next is our fact check segment where we bust certain claims masquerading to be facts. Stay with me. Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.